Hello, welcome to Sunken Railroad. I'm Barry, and this is my vlog dedicated to the restoration of a Marklin Z-Scale 8910 Toporama that I'm working on, something my dad made me when I was around 10 to 12 years old in this early mid-70s. Today I want to talk about Marklin buildings and packaging and give you some observations. I've managed to collect not only the original Toporama, but all of the buildings, the structures that belong on this layout. And the thing that's really interesting is this was modeled, most of these buildings are modeled after buildings in Göppingen, Germany. I'm probably butchering that, Göppingen. And Göppingen is a town outside of Stuttgart, between Stuttgart and Munich in the southern part of Germany. It's also the home of Marklin, and every year they have a Marklin Days there with some locomotives and the International Model Railway exhibition. So maybe someday I'll get to Germany and get a chance to see that. But anyway, so let's get to the buildings. One thing that's interesting to note about these buildings is they all seem to be made with the same plastic color and the same style. The packaging back in the early 70s all had wood grain. As a matter of fact, Marklin talks about in some of their catalogs how the wood grain pattern is how you can tell it's actually authentic Marklin. At some point, they went away from the wood grain packaging and made it simply a brown color. I've been collecting these buildings for quite a while now, and some of them, have this wood grain packaging, and some have this sort of dark brown. But one thing's for sure is that all of the colors of color of the plastic is the same no matter when they were made, which is something notable. Now, first one I want to talk about is the house of the garage. That's this guy right here, 8964. And one of the things to note, the directions are very simple with no words in them, so you don't have to speak German to build all of the models. And each one comes with this wonderful bag of, Marklin material that's used to create flowers and bushes in the environment. Every single one of these boxes has a little baggie of this stuff. So I'm sure by the time I'm done with this, I'll have plenty of this to sprinkle around the layout. So here's the house. For this layout, I'm going to need 3 of these houses. And they also, some of them come with this little black paper insert, which is used to darken the plastic, so when I put the lights in it, it won't, the light won't go through the white plastic and look weird. So I'm definitely going to use this. So that's the house. The next building I want to talk about is the apartment building, and I need 2 of these. So here are the apartment buildings. It's really the same deal. Here's a picture of what the packaging looks like. And you can see they put that little sprinkly powder all over the building in the pictures. I'm going to be trying to model the actual picture. Some of the later ones were blue. The early ones are basically a yellow facade. And then here's that funky green stuff. I guess it's called flocking. So here's this building. Again, it's the same. Each one of the bases of the buildings has the hole for the lighting in it. And it's the gray base. Again, here's the instruction booklet. So I've got 2 of those guys. And again, these are buildings that all exist around this town of Göppingen. And here's the later version of the same building. Again, it's all the same material. Third building is freight station. Let's see where these guys. Here we go. So here's the freight station. This is a replica of a freight station in Durnau, Germany, which is, I guess, south of Göppingen. I need 2 of these guys. This is the early packaging. Here's the later packaging. Same structure, same building. And this is really tiny. In the layout that my dad made me, the only piece of my station that was left was this tiny little chunk here. So I'm just going to kind of keep that. Same thing with this. We've got the same kind of dark plastic insert, dark paper insert for that. And some more of this material and instructions. So the most interesting part of this layout is really the station, the Gopingen station. And this station, I'm going to insert a couple of pictures of it from the internet. This is the actual model of the real station. I've got a few of these because it took me a while to find a complete set. And I found one that was already assembled. Here's the remainder of what was left from my layout, which is this, which is all destroyed. One of the things that's really, really interesting about this, I know these aren't kids' toys, but there's advertisements in here for cigarettes, and it really appears to be fairly accurate representation of that station. Reading some articles about the station itself, and I'll put a link to that in my in this vlog, but it appears that right now the station is up for sale, even though the train station is still being actively used. There was a McDonald's in it, I guess, that closed last year, and now it's been under construction and it's just sort of in limbo, and the city council is getting a lot of criticism for not finishing up the job. So I guess there's some dispute between the railroad and the city. So hopefully they'll get it back underway pretty soon. So here's the Marklin station right here. And this is the most complex building that Marklin made for Z-Scale at the time. Again, here's another little bag of this stuff, some flocking. And the instructions are pretty straightforward. It's not overly complex. This station's going to use 2 light bulbs. Here's some of the plastic that goes with it. This blue is really kind of a nice blue. The station, as it's painted today, is brown in the front. And I'm sort of torn between, do I keep it blue? Do I make it brown? Do I try to do an accurate representation of the station the way it sits today? There's a couple of clocks in here. One of the things I noticed is that this kit has 2 clocks. They're both set to either 5 minutes past 5 or 11:35. One of them's brown. You can see it right there. And the other one's blue. The instructions don't show you where to put the blue one. I'm assuming it's on the inside based on the photographs I've seen of the building. And then this building has 4 holes. 2 of these I assume are for the Marklin lights. I don't know what these 2 are for. I might put some lighting inside, some LED stuff. And then here is this is the interesting part. This is a decal of the inside facade of this train station, and you can see here's the cigarette ad. Again, awesome toy. There's something here for Sprudel, whatever that is. Looks like soap. Another cigarette ad. So it's one of the things that I think anybody who collects Marklin, if you look at all the packaging, there's like a guy smoking a pipe in every single advertisement and packaging. So I guess back in Germany they felt that they wanted to market these to dads who smoked pipes. Or maybe just all dads smoked pipes back then. There seems to be a couple of different inside stickers for this station. Yeah, the one from my dad had this on the inside, which had a advertisement for Marklin in it right here on the side, but this is really destroyed. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to get some pictures of the station. There's some pictures of the station on the internet. I'm probably going to take those off the internet, drop them down to scale, and then try to paste them inside the building. If I could get to Germany, I would go in there and photograph all these walls myself and try to make it super accurate. That's something I'm thinking about doing. The other thing I'm thinking about is there a way for me to put an actual quartz clock right here so this building can tell time? I know it's a little weird, but attention to detail would be awesome if I could have the train station actually tell time. There we go. Here's the platform for the station right there. And there's 2 platforms in this box, but I only need 1 of them. super tiny. And this is probably one of the most simple things. It does have a clear top, which is right here. And the best way to glue these on is with Elmer's glue. I'm going to build each of these in a separate vlog so you can watch me build them. But for right now, it's just sort of a general thing. Those are all the buildings that the 8910 needs and requires to make the layout. I'm trying to keep it accurate. I couldn't resist buying the signal tower, which is this guy right here. This came out in 75 or 74. Yeah, it came out in 74. This is 8965. And I just think it's cool. This layout has a huge freight area or staging area for the locomotives. So I thought if I can nest, this isn't that big when it's done. It's a tiny, there's the base of it right there. It's kind of a tiny little thing. So I'm thinking about putting that in the layout as well. Here's the, again, the card with the dark paper to darken it for the lamp insert. And I'm going to build that anyway, and if I use it, great. If not, well, maybe I'll sell it. I'd like to mention that I'm going to mention some companies in the future because I've been buying, tools and things to help me. I'm not really being, I'm not being sponsored by anybody, so I'm just doing this for fun. I would like to thank guide to Z-Scale.com, Riley O'Connor. I got a lot of the information from that website. You can just look it up. It's full of a lot of great information about collecting Marklin toys. And that's it for this week. Thank you very much.